deal. So what we're going to do today is we're going to cover the four things I sent in the email. I think it's important to say, what is positivity, right? What are we looking to do with athletes? What does the athlete get for it? What does positivity get for it? And then what we can do going together. So in order to establish credibility, I should probably talk about myself, talk about positivity alkaline water, and then we'll get into why I think it's a good idea for us to get together. So I'm Dave Walker. I am the founder of Positivity Alkaline Water, whose actually parent company is Star Walker Industries. Star Walker Industries is a bottled water manufacturing and distribution company. Positivity is one of the brands we offer. We also offer a spring and purified brand under the name Integrity. So we've established brands based upon the mindset and integrity and positivity. Integrity brand is more spring and purified. It's the 24 pack that you might see next to Publix or Kroger in a store. And if we don't know about differences between purified and spring, purified is water that comes from a municipal tap that's filtered. Spring comes from the ground, and then it's filtered a little bit less. But essentially, that's the most common brand of bottled water that we buy is purified. Positivity alkaline water is a purified water that has minerals added to it to get to the high pH. So what happens is people who are in the health, fitness, battling illnesses, they're always trying to raise the pH level of their body for hydration reasons and other reasons. So they enter into alkaline diets, alkaline foods. And some people like the alkaline water to add as a component of their alkaline diet to raise their pH level. Positivity is the best tasting alkaline water out there. And I didn't know that when I started this brand, but because we're bottled in the Smoky Mountains and because the source of the public utility is much more earth oriented, let's call it, we don't have to add a lot of electrolytes to get up to 9.5. But 9.5 pH water does not occur in natural environments. I mean, you're not going to go out and just find pH water in a 9.5 pH water in a stream and drink it. You know, most pH natural pHs are like 8, 8.5. But if you want 9.5, so the key is when you add all that to the water, does it still taste like water? This tastes like water. It's good. I've converted so many people who don't never even heard of alkaline water that just drink positivity. They don't even care that it's alkaline. They're like, I just like this water. So the good news is everybody who completes this program in the next 24 or 48 hours or however many it takes you is going to get a case of positivity, because I believe that every good relationship starts with positivity. You can't push a brand you haven't tried. So everybody, before they have to post anything, will have a case of water. If you had the water already and you feel comfortable, fire away, right? But if you haven't had it, we're going to send everybody a case on us to let you know this is a good faith effort to try to figure things out between us. So who am I and why did I even get into this business? So I'm actually a business attorney. I've been practicing corporate law for 23 years. I went to Michigan. I'm originally from Detroit. I went to University of Michigan for engineering. I went through the Fab 5 years, 90 to 95. Put the banners up. Put the banners back up. So I had a great time. They can't take away my memories. Everybody else get to celebrate their banners. I got to go back and we don't get our Fab 5 banners. Put the banners back up. I'm starting a petition too, the people who went there. So I went to school with Weber and Jalen and good friends with Ray, Jimmy, and Juwan. So I became a lawyer though, because I don't have an engineering lifestyle. So as a lawyer, I got into corporate law because I like transactions. I love doing good news stuff. I help people start their business, buy and sell business, raise capital. And I generally serve as a corporate counsel on all public matters, on all corporate matters. So I don't do any bad news law, no divorce, criminal, DUI, bankruptcy. I don't deal with any of that. I just help people in their business. And I've grown a reputation here in Atlanta of working with a lot of startup and small businesses. And I have a background working at venture firms and large law firms. And I love being a corporate attorney. But in 2014, I went to church and the pastor challenged all of us to post an outrageous goal. He took a whiteboard and he rolled the whiteboard all the way out to the parking lot and took colorful sticky notes like this and said, we want to challenge you to put your outrageous goal out here pray to the universe and God on an outrageous goal. Being from Detroit and also being on the wealthy side of things, I'm not really interested in money. So I started to think about what is it that I really want at the end of the day. It's my outrageous goal. And mine is a Super Bowl trophy. Okay. Now, there's only 3 ways to get a Super Bowl trophy: as a player, as a coach, or as an owner. So I don't play and I'm not a very good coach. So I wrote down own an NFL team and win a Super Bowl trophy as my outrageous goal back in 2012 or 13. And of course, you have a good laugh about it. But like all of you, when I read your outrageous goals, when you actually write them down, you start to ask yourself, if my outrageous goal is 2 million miles in one direction, am I even walking in that direction? So me as an attorney, I'm like, these owners aren't attorneys. They hire attorneys. I need to figure out, out of all the business models I've seen over my career, which business model makes the most sense for me to get there as an owner. Well, I have a client who I share an office building with now who sells manufacturing equipment to beverage companies, chillers, compressors, blow mold machines. And we went into a bottled water plant, and that's when I hit my positive moment. I was like, this is it. Bottled water plant was amazing, very efficient. And anyway, in order to start a bottled water, you have to start in distribution. I started by creating brands. Integrity, positivity are the brands, but ultimately Star Walker is building plants. We're currently going through a fundraiser to build a plant here in Atlanta, a micro plant to do a purified process locally. I believe bottled water is going to go the way of craft beer, and people will understand the process is so simple. There's no reason you shouldn't have Atlanta bottled water, New Orleans bottled water, Jacksonville bottled water. And then when you have these issues like in Flint and Texas, and they're calling other people for their water, it makes no sense why we aren't building small little plants just to feed our community or just to hydrate our community. So that's what Star Walker does. Positivity is about a mindset of having people think positive, create their outrageous goal, and move towards it in a positive mindset. So I wanted to give you that little background on me and positivity so you can understand my motivation of why I want to make this happen for all of us. Shar, do you have a short video that we can play for them about Star Walker, and then I'll move on next to the things that we want to do with positivity?
No problem.
Shar Ross, by the way, is our Chief Marketing Officer. She helps me a lot with my projects. And if you come to get to know our brand, you'll eventually get to know Shar as well. Go ahead, Shar. Do you do anything?
Nope, I got it. Can you see the screen, David?
Yep.
Oh, wait, I forgot to hit start with video. Let me do it again.
Y'all, it's DJ Envy from the Breakfast Club. I know a lot of you guys know I'm passionate about teaching our community about investing and about generational wealth. Last year, my wife gifted me a stake in Positivity Water. It sent a strong message that we will be represented in the bottled water industry. It's a tough industry, but we are going to be represented, and we're going to be represented big. Now, I'm excited to share a message from Positivity Water's founder, David Walker, about an opportunity for the community to invest in a company committed to creating space for Black people in the multi-billion-dollar bottled water game. We just need a little bit of that, just a little bit of that. Check out David's story.
Black people will be at the table when it comes to water. We're going to build our own plant, drink our own bottled water, return our own bottled water, and create our own closed-loop recycling systems in our own neighborhood and never be left out the conversation again. My name is David Walker. I grew up in a tough part of Detroit, and along the way, I've got a couple lucky breaks in life. I built a 22-year career working with startup and small businesses in corporate law. 6 years ago, I walked into my first bottled water plant, just fell in love. Synchronicity of the machines, the efficiency of it. But I started to see things in the system that I thought could be improved. So we saw what happened in Flint. In Texas, I had distributors asking me for 10 truckloads of water. Here I am in Atlanta. I said, why are we not manufacturing locally? We can create what they call a closed-loop recycling system. Buy our bottle locally, drink it locally, bring it back locally, and we'll give you money back for it. And I'm looking forward to convincing you that we're going to do it together.
Learn more at invest.starwalkerindustries.com.
Excellent. So thank you, Shar, for showing that video. But that's a little bit about what Starwalk is about. So Positivity Alkaline Water is not some baby that I created 30 years ago and my family legacies passed down to it. And therefore I must hoard all the equity and all the money in it because it's my only thing I live for. It's not. It's a brand I developed 4 years ago. People fell in love with it. It represented a positive message. We had some great people come on board. You mentioned DJ Envy, DJ Chaotic out of Dallas. We've had some DJs we're working with in Miami, Biloxi, and so a couple other places. City Trends has 500 stores across the U.S. They gave us a test market in February of 100 stores. We've since expanded to 500 stores. We have a truckload in New York, couple truckloads in New York that's being distributed now in the city of New York. And so Positivity Alkaline Water is trajectorying up. So that brings us to kind of how we got here today. And I'll tell you, when I first heard about the NIL licenses, it was probably about a year ago. And for purposes of transparency, I am actually certified as an NFLPA agent, but I'm not very good at it. I don't have any players signed up. I actually have a long snapper that hasn't played football in 2 years that I represent him because of his family, and I'm hoping that he can get into a camp. But none of you have ever seen me reach out to you ever, because I'm not good at it. I had a chance to kind of see what the agent market looks like from the inside. It's not my tea. Great people, great GMs, the great trainers I've met, the great agents I've met, but it's just not for me, and that's okay. So I don't want to be anyone's agent on this call, but I'm still certified. It was actually going to lapse this year, but because of COVID, they gave us an extra year. I'm like, no, I'm fine. I just want to be a business attorney, and I just want to do water. But anyway, I met some great people along the way, some trainers. One of the trainers here in Atlanta, they all loved Positive Alkaline Water. And they said, Dave, give me some. And they drank it. And then when I heard about the NIL licenses, probably about a month ago, I started watching legislation. I'm like, this is going to happen faster than people think. So I called them up a week before July 1st, and I said, hey, I need some stand-up kids. I need kids with integrity and positivity. And he knows me as a business attorney. I told him, I don't care what position they play. I don't care how fast they are. I don't care about the NFL grade. I don't care about their school. I just want 2 good kids that are in college. I'm never going to have to worry about listening to them on SportsCenter or some craziness, and that they're going to represent our brand and speak positivity and enjoy the water. So I got high recommendations for Ja'Cory Pearson. He should be on this call. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. And also Mike Harley Jr. And we had a conversation. And when we had a conversation, exactly right. Good stand-up kids. I thought it made sense. We entered into an NIL agreement on July 1st. We posted a graphic thinking that this is great for the kids, great for me, Black-owned company partnering with 2 kids on the first national day. That's cool. My family liked it. I thought it was cool. But then something strange happened. And that something strange was a lot of athletes was reaching out to us to say, hey, we want to be part of something like this. And we would love to, some people, let's collab. Some people just sent the DM, yo. So I didn't want to turn down anybody. I told all of my staff, we must accept everybody, give them emails to email us, and we'll have to go through them. Thinking maybe 10 or 20. Soon my emails were flooded. We have an office email connect at Positivity Water that got flooded. So we said, okay, let's build a system. So we built a system to sort of get some information and start to collect. Well, that application you all filled out, over 500 athletes filled it out. And it's just been inspiring to read your stories, to read where you're from, the things you want to do in life. And I thought, man, we have to start to build a program where we can work with each of these kids. So that's what we did. We've developed this name, image, and likeness program that you're going to get 3 things from us at a minimum. Now, I know some of you on here have 1 billion followers and you're like, I'm looking for the cash up front. We'll get to you later. But we had to start with a base where everybody could start no matter what. And like I said, everybody's going to get a case of Positivity Alkaline Water. Everybody's going to get a link to have that they can promote and put into their profiles, where if people buy through that link, they'll get some sort of residual commission over time, because it'll be a 5% commission, but every time they order, or if they're on a subscription, you'll get some money. And then I'm going to give $1 for every case sold by all the athletes into an athlete pool. And at the end of the year, like most companies, we're going to pay a bonus. And we're going to pay that money out to all the athletes across all the platform, regardless of sales. Of course, the people who sell more are going to make more money from the commission, but at least everybody will get in the bonus, and I'll be allocating a percentage of that to the athletes fund to help you guys out. But there's another part of this that you're getting, and that's the lawyer part, because I also realized 99% of you don't have an LLC or a corporation, and you athletes are wildly unprepared for our business world. Wildly. They're turning over all these people and advisors coming at you, and you're wildly unprepared. So one of the things that I'm also offering is the lawyer, not my law firm, but me, Dave Walker, as the lawyer, meaning I can't represent you if you're not in Georgia or Michigan, but I can certainly help you, guide you about the things you should care about, the things you should care about when it comes to marketing and your branding and the way you negotiate with people. Positivity Water cannot be your only deal. It can be your first deal, but it is not meant to be your only deal. It's meant to say, this is a company that I've joined and I've been able to establish my brand and go from there. Because a lot of you have been told all your life, don't do anything besides lifting weights and showing you in football, because they're so scared of how much your brand might tarnish their brand. I'm the opposite. I'm like, I want to hear what you're doing besides weight training, besides playing for that team that already gets $1 billion a year in marketing revenue. What do you stand for? What are your positive moments in life? And then also give you a chance to build your brand. Because at the end of the day, our companies don't really care so much about the sports or even the access to the sports. In business, we care about the people and whether it's going to enhance your brand or not. So my job here at Positivity is to provide you with a case, a link, and a lawyer so that you can have all that access to it. And I intend to have a conversation with each person that goes through this process. So what's the process, right? How does all this work? Well, Shar, I think this would be a good time to throw up some polls. I wanted to do an interactive poll to get a sense of what people are doing out there. So I'm going to first launch this first poll, and I wanted to just know how much you knew about Positivity Water before coming into this and what you learned now. So while this poll is going, I'll continue to talk about the current process. So what we did is, this is a moving sand under our feet when it comes to these NIL licenses. Some people have very strenuous processes at their schools. Some people have no processes at all. And we got to figure out whose process is what. So what we did is we started to say, okay, let's start to get information about their school. Let's get information about their hometown, so to figure out what makes sense from a marketing perspective. Because when you market yourself as an athlete, you should not start with the town you're playing football in. The town you're playing football in has been marketed by your football team. You should start with your hometown in any marketing, because those are the people who care about you, who watched you in high school, who know your character, and you should build your way up to your college town and then eventually your professional town. So a nice low-hanging piece of fruit for you who establishing your brands is to start to target your hometown. That's why we listed your hometown, because the hometowns that have distribution for Positivity, that makes sense. You go, hey, I like Positivity. Oh, find it here in New York. Oh, find it here in Atlanta. So that's why we ask for your hometown. However, when we go through this process, you are going to have to sign a W-9. Okay, for those of you who are unfamiliar, you are going to be an independent contractor for us. When you work for a company, you're only one of two things: your employee or your independent contractor. One of the reasons you guys won the lawsuit is because they couldn't classify you as an employee because they'd have so much other problems. But at the same time, if they classified you as an independent contractor, that means they would have to let you go out and make money in other places. And so that's what they were left with. You guys are basically being pimped out without identifying category. Now they're saying, okay, they can be independent contractors. Let them go out and find other work, and they can go out, people can pay them. Well, from our end, the people who have to pay independent contractors, those are the ones, oh, let's see what we have here. We have the sharing results. You see these results here? Oh yeah, you guys didn't know about Star Walker Industries. Oh, it's not bottled in Atlanta, it's in the Smoky Mountains. So that was good. So now you know about Star Walker Industries and what we're doing, and now you also know. Shar, can you do the next poll, or do I have to do it myself? We're still figuring things out here, so don't judge us. Start the next poll.
Okay.
So when we think about the W-9, you guys, when you sign a W-9, you're telling the person that's paying you money, when you tell the government you paid me money, this is the information to give the government. So anybody who asks you to fill out a oh yeah, 2 more poll questions. Have you ever tasted Positivity Alkaline water? And do you prefer your alkaline water cold or room temperature? Be interested to see who falls in that category. I'm a room temperature guy.
I'm cold. I'm cold.
That's, you know what, cold alkaline water is like putting A1 on the steak that's prepared by.
That's okay. That's okay. I just put it in the refrigerator, and I like my water cold. You know what we should have asked, David? Do you drink it with the top up, or like you?
Oh yeah, I take it off. I got the guzzle.
Yeah, no, I gotta pop it up. I gotta pop it up. It's the chick move.
It comes with a sports cap. But in any case, going back to this W-9 situation, you guys are going to come across this more often, and that's what led to the LLC question. When the person's reporting your income, whatever they pay you to the IRS, they give you exactly the amount of money you ask for as an independent contractor. So if you work as an employee and you make $100 for a job, you're not getting a check that's $100. You're getting a check for $92 because they take out the money and pay taxes. When you're an independent contractor, they give you exactly the money, $100. But guess what? They tell the IRS they gave you $100. And then the IRS is waiting at the end of the year to see if you're going to tell them you got $100 from somebody. So the point of a W-9 is, how do you report this to the IRS?
David, guess what?
What?
I won cold water.
Man, that's unbelievable. I got a lot of work to do. I got a lot of work to do. Got a lot of work to do. You guys not drinking the water right. Room temperature is quality water. Then you can code it later. Anyway, when you fill out this W-9, here's the key. They ask for your social security number or your EIN or tax ID number. So when you fill out that form and they say, okay, you know, we need to know IRS, and you give somebody a social security number, one, you're telling the IRS that you're making money, which is fine. You should pay your taxes. But two, you're giving a regular old company your social security number that doesn't have security procedures. And a lot of times these companies leave that form around or somebody's desk and your social security number's on it somewhere. So part of the benefits of forming an LLC, and we'll go over some of the other ones as well, is that you can actually form an LLC and put the LLC's EIN or tax ID number, which is the same number of digits, 9 digits, in that spot. So one of the ways that you have to start to think about business is, even though I'm the person that's running the business, I don't necessarily have to have the contract in my name. So one of my goals is to make sure that by the end of the year, everybody on here is aware of what an LLC is, how to form one, and making sure they get something in place if they're going to start taking revenue for NIL licensing fees, and being very smart about this. When you start talking about things like, I have an LLC that's going to fill out the EIN, it's going to fill out my W-9, put their EIN in, that helps you when people want to negotiate deals. You know, you're not going to play this game with me. Now, the hard part is that before, when you got money, people would just can't really say anything, call it under the table, right? Here's some money under the table, under the table. Now they're going to give it out to you blatantly in front of everybody, which means the IRS is going to know that you are making money, because it's going to be on your Instagram. And every time you put hashtag ad, hashtag whatever, the IRS will be looking to make an example out of some college athlete who took a bunch of money, took a bunch of checks, and didn't pay their taxes. And you'll be in tax trouble before you even get out of college. Your compliance departments may or may not be telling you that. But, you know, from that point of view, I want to make sure that you guys stay ahead of everything. Shar, you were saying something?
Yeah, you ready for the next poll?
Yeah, I'm ready for the next poll. What is it?
Okay, this one is, how would you rate our Positivity Alkaline Water brand on a 5-star scale? And then how would you rate your own personal brand? That means how you look, how do you carry yourself? What do people think about you? How do people interact with you? You know, what do you think of positivity? And then most importantly, what do you think of yourself?
There's so many answers. So 5 stars right up there with all other national bottled water brands. 4-star is solid and a good fit for a small business. 3, it's all right.
We
Two,
all
you
right.
didn't really pay attention to it. And one, you need to start all over again clean. Yeah. So that's why I had to ask you about your brand in the next one, because some of y'all think that they're right there with LeBron, right? And then some people say, well, I do post and people do share my stuff, or I have family and friends. And then some people have great social media followings, but had 2 posts, and then some people say, I never put myself out there like that. So I was trying to get a feel of both. This is a push-pull, right? Our brand and your brand have to match together. Figuring
Correct.
out how we're going to help my brand and how we're going to help your brand is one of the ways that, we're going to have to grow our relationship together. I'd like the fact that we're getting a lot of engagement on these questions, Shara.
That's
Brilliant.
excellent. Yeah, we got like 7 more people to respond to this one, and we get 100%.
Maybe they
So
went to the bathroom. It's all good.
that's okay. So let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll and share the results. Drum roll.
Oh yeah, 5-star, baby. Write that 24/7. 5-star. You guys are 4 stars. Okay. You don't think as highly of yourselves yet. That's okay. And listen, we may not all be LeBron. Did we erase the results already? We might not all be LeBron, and we might not all be the National Water brands, but you guys have July 1st as your starting date. So don't judge yourselves. Okay. You haven't had a chance to brand yourself ever. And in fact, people told you not to. So beginning July 1st, you're able to now start with the brand. Positivity Water wants to start with you and want you to start with us and feel comfortable that, like, hey, I'm getting used to branding myself. I realize that when I walk out or when I go on social media, I am my LLC and not myself. So you might have to have your burner account for all your little Instagram, reels and TikTok things you like to watch. And then you have your business account, which is still your name, still your blue check mark, but you're now posting things that's going to open up doors for other opportunities in branding. And one of the things companies like to see is how well you're doing with your branding with other companies right now. So Positivity wants to be able to give you that check mark of, yeah, we've had that person since July. They've been great. They post like they're supposed to post. They have their documents together. They attend the meetings that we have talking about the brand. They try the product. They like it. Those are all the things that we want to be the first, but we don't want to be your only. So there is no sort of like, can't work with anybody else in our agreements. So that's what we're looking to get out of it, is your brand ownership, helping you guys create this sense of entrepreneurship. What do you guys get? Money. Now, I do know that there's athletes on this Zoom, maybe even agents and other advisors that represent athletes that go, hey, my guy, he wants more than water. Or my woman, she wants more than a link to positivity. We want some cash. I get it. And I'm not immune to that as a business attorney, but that has to be handled on a case-by-case basis. And we can't go through all 500 and make that decision. So if you guys are in that LeBron category and you have a big sponsors and people coming after you, get your money. Don't slow down because of us. We just want to be on the side. We just want to help you. I don't have a huge reserve of cash. As I said, we're growing. This came out of nowhere. So I didn't even have a chance to raise enough capital to pay everybody. But I am going to try to put us in a position where everybody walks away happy. I want everybody to be happy with their experience with positivity, with their money, with their getting paid. And I'm not going to require a lot. Again, if you post once a week for the month, you're going to get a case every month. If that's all you do. I like positivity. I post once a week. They send me a case once a month. Some people might get more into it. They want to promote the link, devinbrown.positivitywater.com, that's out there. And you might say, I want to do more. And I think that I have family members who buy alkaline water anyway. Well, I want to make 5% and then $1 for all of us. So I'm going to try to meet you guys where you are. I'm going to try to offer more than just commission and water, but also my knowledge. I have in my law firm a system in which you'll be able to book an appointment with me one-on-one to not give you legal advice, but to just sort of say, hey, Mr. Walker, this is kind of what's happening with this relationship, or what should I ask for? This person asked for this, and just trying to give you some guidance on what happens in that legal space. Okay, so the program that we have, I want to share my screen now, Shar. I want to share the screen because right now I want to make an announcement. It's going to be it's active. Wait, Shar, do we have another poll question so we can have a little drum roll for our announcement?
Hang on one second.
Well, anyway, while Shar gets that ready,
There you go.
the poll question is, does your school require NIL partners to contact your compliance officer? And are you absolutely clear on your school's compliant rules when it comes to NIL eligibility? That's important because you don't want to lose your eligibility because you're goofing off. Up till now, we haven't signed any contracts, etc. But I'm going to announce a new link for you guys who've already passed that application process. And once you go through this process, these next 5 steps, you will be a positivity partner and be able to get water and post, etc. So we created a new site. It's called, and Shar, you can put this in Teams. It's nil.positivitywater.com. And I'm going to share my screen here so you can see it. So this is the new link, and connect.positivitywater will also start going to this link by the end of this phone call. On this link, you'll have a number of options. And once you're at the end, though, you're going to be at the end. Complete the NIL form. Most of you have already done this. We have your information in our system. We can pull you up. You don't have to do that again. Review the NIL agreement. This is the agreement that you're going to sign. It says 8 pages, but it's not really 8 pages. It's more like 3 pages, and you're going to sign it separately. But you can print this out. You can take it to your school compliance office. It has our posting guidelines, and it also has the fact sheet, which some of you have already as well. So this is actually already available on nil.positivitywater.com. So you can print it out and give it to your compliance department before you sign anything and say, okay, they've approved it. Here is where you can download the W-9 form. As I mentioned, because you're going to be paid commissions and or water and other revenue, we have to have this information. This is a 4-page form. You do not have to fill out all these pages. You only have to fill out the first page. And again, your name on your tax return, your business name. If you don't have a business name, don't freak out. Sign it in your individual name. And by the end of the year, you can send me an updated W-9 form. So, oh, Mr. Walker, I heard what you said about the LLC. I don't have one, but I really want to get one. I don't want to wait. Let's go. Put the social security number in. We keep it on file. Once you get to the point in which you form your LLC, whatever state you're in, then you can go ahead and go forward. So a lot of people ask, where should I file my LLC? You file it at the state level, okay? And whether you do it at your home state or your school state, you know, it really is up to you, because that you got to ask yourself where you're going to be generating your revenue from. So because you don't know, I usually tell people to start with their hometown state to form the LLC, because their parents are there, their relatives are there, and that's probably where you're going to be able to have tax return information and things like that sent. But you'll need to fill out this first page, and then go back here, and then you'll have a place where you'll sign and upload the W-9 form. So you'll upload the 1 page here, you'll print out the 1 page, fill it out, upload it here, fill out your name and your company's name, and use the same email that you used on the NIL application, because it'll sync in our end. And all the information syncs based upon the email. So if you put a new email in here that you didn't apply under, it's going to mess everything up. Not mess it up, but on our end, we got to do a little manual labor. However, we can change it all later. So just comply now, change later. And again, this is the first beginning of all this, and we're one of the first companies to put this together. So we're trying to get it right. And then you're going to accept the NIL agreement by clicking here. After you've talked to your school, after you feel very comfortable that you're not going to use eligibility, because as an independent contractor, it is your duty to figure out if you're in violation. That's why every time the athletes used to take money, the kid and the school get punished, and the person that gave him money walks away, because that's the way it works. Same thing in business. These are all your relationships. You're a business owner now. You have to confirm, you make sure that you are in compliance so that you don't want to lose eligibility. I do not want anybody on this call to lose eligibility. I do not want anybody on this call to lose eligibility. I do not want anybody on this call to lose eligibility. That's how important I think. 3 times.
So David, let's look at the results of this poll.
Yes, that's why we're talking about this. So no, I cannot start taking NIL fees without proper NIL partner registering with the school. If that's the case, you need to send us a note at the end. So you can take, and when we go here to the last page about questions, comments, or inquiries, you can put that in here. Hey, Mr. Walker, or Positivity, I found out that we have to go to this link and register Positivity with our school in order for me to be able to sign the NIL agreement. No problem. For those of you who need to go through that process, just let us know. Somebody will get back to you or complete the application for you so you can get on board. My plan is to only do this through the month of July. So by the end of July, I want people up, water, signed, ready to go for the season, because I'm not pulling you away from no damn coaches or everybody calling me up talking about he's still worried about his NIL license. He won't come to practice. I don't want to hear about that. So my goal is in the month of July to get everybody signed up, everybody ready, just like I read everybody's outrageous goal. And somebody had an outrageous goal of having a goat farm. I was like, what? That's a crazy, outrageous goal. But anyway, I'm going to help everybody get in compliance, because even if I have to be the one that first has to take on, somebody has to be the yellow canary and go in and try and see what's working and yell at the schools while they're slowing these kids down from getting money. A lot of things that I'm seeing, I'm really not happy with the way these adults are treating the situation. Some people are trying to allocate the money for the kids and not get it. You just saw that W-9. You want to pay taxes on money you never even touched? That's not going to work. I want to be the advocate on behalf of the businesses that calls out schools and administrators that are slowing down processes or putting in unreasonable requests to keep us from having our pursuit of happiness and positivity in America. It's our right to have a contract. They should just only be a reporting agency. They should not be a confirmation agency, meaning that all they should do is want to know, confirm that you're not a booster. I'm not a booster for any school. I went to Michigan, but they need to start winning for I probably give them some money. They got problems. They got to get better. Anyway, I'm not a booster at any school, so you can put all your schools down there and they can confirm. And there's reasonable disclosure that can be done. For one of the kids that we signed up, his school had a nice portal, went in, made a couple clicks, a couple buttons, and it was done and it was reported. But I'm hearing bad stories about these schools really trying to step in between the money you guys get and your pockets. And I'm not having it. I've watched it go by. I watched it go by in the agents. I watched it go by in schools, taking advantage of my friends, the Fab Five, et cetera. I love Michigan to death, but Fab Five need to have some money, man. They put all those socks on those kids and bought all those shoes. So I don't want to see that happen to you, but I also don't want you to become ineligible because of that. Can you show the other results, Shar? Are they still up? So are you absolutely clear on your school's compliance rules? 51% of you said yes, and 50% said, I need more time, or I think so. So this is our month, July. Ask questions of us. If you want us to help you interpret some rules, that inquiry, you can say, hey, Positivity, we got a question about, how, are you guys an LLC, or how are you guys, entering the contract? Again, because the contract is here, you should be able just to print it out, say, I haven't signed it. This is what it is. And that should satisfy most of your schools. When they ask you the value of the contract, you can just say it's a commission contract at 5% for now. We don't know the value. I mean, it's unknown. Nobody can really know the value. So there are some people who might get, flat fees and they can report that, but you have a commission, so it's a little bit unknown. You could estimate, I guess, roughly how many cases of water you think you're going to sell at what price. And then lastly, after you've submitted everything and signed and upload, you'll get your Positivity. You go here and register for your link. This is the page in which you get your link to be able to go in and start selling and offering people a link. So you put in a name, you set up an account and a password. However, you will not get that link until you've been verified that we have all your W-9 and everything else, and you'll get an email saying, hey, your Positivity case is on the way. Here's the link to start promoting. And then, obviously all of the internal benefits of having access to our team to help with other things. So,
hey, David, a quick question, everybody.
Positivitywater.com.
Yeah, the link when I posted it was giving some problems. So I just want to make sure everybody is able to access it now. I went ahead and did the straight link post, the linktree.com/NIL positivity. So if anyone's still having problems, let us know, but that's the direct link.
So if you want to put that in chat, Shar, I'm going to
I
stop
did.
sharing.
I did. I put it in the chat room, and some people were having problems with the NIL.positivity water. So I just sent them a straight link.
Okay, we're going to fix out every technical glitch. If I sat here and told you we have everything right and that it's all perfect, I'd be lying. I don't really know what's going to happen. I don't really know who's on this call. I don't know how many people looked at this call and was like, I'm not interested. And some people said, hey, I like it. But I'm here to be a resource to you guys and ladies. And the industries or the sports that all the athletes are from, absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it's amazing. And I just have nothing but overall respect for you. I don't envy the work you have ahead of you both now as an athlete and a brand ambassador. You're going to be a professional. And the minute you touch this contract, you can expect I'm probably going to be your nicest boss when it comes to branding. Most people aren't going to do this. They're going to expect you to be a professional. They're going to expect you to know all this stuff. They're going to expect you to be, ready for your brand and protect your brand. We also will have some academy classes. We'll talk about things like trademark and what is a trademark and how do you trademark yourself and what's the difference between things like DBAs and trademark. We're going to talk about all sorts of things like bringing on investors. How did you bring on an investor to help you out with your marketing business? How do you hire contractors to help you? How do you hire marketing people? I can't tell you how many marketing agents called me. And I'm like, y'all already taking 20% of these kids' money. They ain't even started yet. Let the kid try to make one contract on his own for you take 20%. I'm sorry, agents, if you're on the call. I mean, it's true, but then again, I guess it goes both ways. If the agent's going to sign you afterwards, then he should be able to market you right now. No need to wait for you to join the professional leagues to market you. They should be able to do it now. So it's fascinating what's going to happen about this. I think that you guys have a lot of power now, and you should use it, and you should learn more. Obviously, you have your sports. Hopefully, everybody had an excellent workout today. Hopefully, everybody, felt good. No one's injured. Made it through the day. That's a good day. And then, use this time to sort of grow yourself, grow your brand, start thinking about what you stand for. Besides the uniform you wear, maybe now's the time to start pushing some causes. You can't make everybody happy, but if you feel strongly about something, you should start to say it. If somebody in that category is going to give you something, but this is the time for you to kind of let yourself go and start posting some of the things that you guys told me about. I think this is all fantastic. I did not read one bad answer. Everybody gave great answers. So this is the Q&A portion, the last 20 minutes. If you have a question, you can put it in the chat. If you want to raise your hand, you can raise your hand. If people want to send it anonymously, you can send it anonymously in the chat. We can go from there. What is the best way to contact either of y'all? Again, the NIL at the bottom has a contact inquiries. It goes to our whole team so we can allocate who can answer. There's 4 or 5 of us, and so a different person might answer at a different time. We are looking to get some interns here in Atlanta to handle the volume, and my goal is to have each person to have a individual rep. Right now, you have an email, nil@positivitywater.com. Shar, you want to put that email into the chat? But that's the email you can send it to where our team will get it and somebody get back to you. But my goal is by the end of July is to have each of you to have one individual touch point person and not be in this whole like NIL group session. You should be able to say like, hey, Shar, or hey, Sam, or hey, Sarah. But right now it's just so many that we're trying to do our best to manage everybody. But we usually get back. If you DM'd us, we get back. If you sent us an email, we get back to you. So stick in there. It's all new for everybody. How many cases of water will we get per month and when we first start? So you will, once you sign that and you get approved and you get your link, you will get a case. This is a case. It's a 15-pack case. Look how pretty that is. It's a 15-pack case with a sports cap. It's 700 milliliters or 24 ounces. If you're by yourself and you drink a lot of water, this case will maybe last you a week and a half. If you don't drink a lot of water, it can last longer. If you try to balance your water out and have, purified or other water with alkaline, balance it, That's not a lot. So, but it's enough to kind of keep you in the game. And there's ways to move up. There's ways we're going to monitor your accounts, ways to sort of say, hey, this person has been really effective in marketing, and go from there. Oh, also too, I have another thing, and I don't know if our partner's on here, but we actually have an official vendor that is going to prepare an official graphic for you once you're confirmed. So we will send you the graphic. We'll send you all the information in email along with the graphic. Our relationship doesn't start until you post that graphic. So you get the graphic and you're still not sure, and you had the water, you don't like, I don't really want to post this. You don't. But I've never had anybody not do that. So once you post the graphic on you control your image, you say, hey, I'm with Positivity. You post the official graphic, and you'll know it's an official graphic. It's one of the top college edits in the country. Then that's when everybody will know that you're part of the team. We'll repost the graphic and we'll go from there. But then you'll have your case. So some people want to wait to their case, so you can go there. If you already have, are there any Positivity sports squirts bottles? I think we might have one on our merchandise store on our homepage of positivitywater.com. Well, we're adding merchandise items all the time. If we already have an LLC, would you recommend using that LLC, the W-9, or you recommend creating another one in your own individual name? Great question. If you have a currently existing LLC that is generating revenue from something other than name, image, and likeness, I would recommend having a second one. When you have multiple business models that generate different amounts of money or different money from different sources under the same company, that's what we call cross-collateralizing. What does that mean? Suppose you have real estate in the LLC and you do name, image, and likeness, or you do lawn care in that same LLC. Well, in the lawn care, somebody, you might mistakenly, cut something or ruin somebody, or somebody falls and trips or crashes in your lawn care equipment. They can actually sue you for the assets that's in that LLC, including your property. In this case, if you got something that's generating royalties or an NIL fee like this, you don't want your other business to ruin it. So if you can, keep them separate. But if your other LLC is not doing anything, you formed it, haven't really done anything with it, then, you can use that. That's no problem. The history of the LLC, when you go out to get loans later, they're going to look at the date you formed your LLC. So the earlier you can form your LLC, that's like your born on date. So if you form your LLC, that's the born on date in business. You can tell them you've been in business 30 years. They look at that date. They can actually pull it up in any state right now. I can pull up and look up your LLC. I can look and tell you when you formed it, who was your registered agent, meaning who was the person in your home state that agreed to accept all your mail. I can tell you the address it's at. And so all of that's public information. And that matters when you go out to get funding later, when you go out to do other things, to say you have that LLC earlier. So I do highly recommend that you guys consider looking into it. Don't spend a lot of time on it. Don't spend weeks and hours and studying late nights about this. There's professionals out there that can do it. Spend about an hour to try to form your own LLC. And if it takes you longer than an hour, just look for a professional to do it. What should they charge you? It depends on the state. So there's the state filing fee, and then maybe $300 to $400 more than that. But if somebody's charging you $1,500 for your LLC, $2,500, that's ridiculous. You give them my number. Like, you call Dave and tell him what you just said to me, and I'll tell him to go to hell. You should be right there around your state filing fees plus $300 or $400. That's it. Don't pay outrageous money. There's a lot of people out there that's going to try to take advantage of you. I'm not one of them. I missed the part about the graphic. Do we send you a picture of us for y'all to post after we fill out everything? Some of you have already sent pictures, and I have to talk to the graphic company, and we might have to get a picture that you might want, and maybe they'll find something, but we'll plan that out. But yes, this graphic company is designed to be our official posting partner for our new NIL athletes. It's going to be it's a big company. They reached out to me. I couldn't believe it, but so many people coming our way, and I'm a protector of you guys. I'm not giving out your information. All the information you gave to me is going into my legal lock safe. Okay. I have it all. No one else has it. Your W-9s will be secure. Everything will be secure. Right. And yes, some links might be off a little bit, but we're going to figure that out. I mean, it's human. It's 2021. We've been COVID. Things happen.
Hey, Dave, somebody
yes.
said once all the forms are filled out, basically, when can we start being sent water and posting the link to get water?
Yes, you can do anything you want right now. If you actually have a bottle of Positivity water, you can post and say what you like it. You just can't treat it as an ad or a paid partnership. So if some of you have Positivity water, because I shipped you a case last week or whatever, you can post. You can say, "Hey, I like this water." But you don't have to say, "I'm a proud sponsor. I was on the Zoom and now I'm part of Positivity." Don't say that. Don't say that. Just say, "I like this water," and then it'll make sense once you actually post saying like your official, graphic gets posted. They're like, "Oh, you were talking about that water." And then when people are like, "Where can I get some?" You're like, "Hit my link," and then they'll send it to you. It's great. I'll get commission, and we'll put money towards the athletes. What else? Some of the other questions, Shar.
Someone wanted to know, do they have to print everything out? And I'm responding. I said, you only have to print the W-9 because you have to physically sign that. The agreement, we just really want you to review it and then upload your W-9 with number 4 on our link tree.
Correct. Do we get a discount code for people to use? It's not a discount code. So what will happen is you'll get a link for people to use. You will get the commission and you will get the allocation towards the fund, but it's not a discount. If they sign up for a subscription, they get a discount. If they ask for a monthly subscription where they have a case sent every month, they'll get a $3 discount. But there's no discount code to the public. Again, we weren't prepared for this. So, but they will, because you will benefit from them though. So they can tell you that, yeah, your discount is, I'm getting a little bit of cash to help me with school.
And Dave, just
quarterly. So let me just make sure I say this too. You will need a PayPal account because this thing will actually send your money automatically. So this will be transparency. You'll have a dashboard. If you're not selling, you're going to know before I do because you're going to have a dashboard that tells you, what you sold, how much, what your commission is, when it's getting paid. It's all on the dashboard, fully automated. I'm super transparent. I'll tell you all the truth. Again, I'm trying to build a plant. I'm not trying to take money from athletes' pocket. Go ahead, Shar.
I think somebody wanted to know about, the agreement. So, and the Zoom being recorded. So let me just say this to you, that we recognize that some people were not able to get on the Zoom at the beginning. David, apparently the 100 person ceiling was hit, even though we upgraded the account. So once we hit 100, nobody else was able to get in until people left. So there are a few people asking about the beginning of the presentation. One person wanted to know, would they be able to stay on, and you kind of go over some highlights from the beginning. But there are several people that were not able to be on here at the beginning because of the Zoom maximum.
That's super annoying. I went out and paid for this $90 extra to have 1,000 Zoom participants. I got jacked over. So yeah. We're going to do this again. Don't listen. This is a matter of first impression. We're going to record this Zoom. I'm going on vacation for the 13th through the 20th. And when I get back, we'll do another one, have people record it. The 100 of you that got here early and got in, good for you. But we should have had 1,000. I don't really know what happened. So I paid Zoom. I asked them if everything was okay. It says okay. So we'll do it again. And it'll be recorded and you can send it around. So let's try to answer as many questions as we can on here, Shar. And let's not just skip over them and just answer them all. And in that way, when they watch the video, hopefully we can get as many as we want. But we'll post the video tonight on our Star Walker YouTube channel. And we'll post it in all of our social media links. So you can share it. A lot of people ain't raising their hands anyway, so they don't want to they don't want to see their face. They just want to sit back and listen anyway. So let's get through as many questions as we can. You're free to drop off at 9. I know all of you have very hectic schedules. Again, I will post it in the Zoom. You can drop off and then we'll have questions later. Let's see here. Is there a certain amount of water you have to sell, or can you just sell as much as you can? There's no limit. You sell one case, you get 5% of that one case you sold. So there's no minimum. You just sell and you get 5%. Some of the new questions. Shar, what do you do with the LLC portion of the W-9 if you don't have an LLC yet? You fill it out in your individual name and you put your individual social security number on the W-9. You only print the first page. You don't print all 4 of them and download all 4, just the first one. You can read it all if you want, but we only need the first one. Does it have to be done by a certain time? I don't have access to a printer until tomorrow. It does not need to be done by a certain time. My favorite movie is The Shawshank Redemption. I believe everything just takes time. Do it right, long, slow. There's no hurry. Ask a lot of questions. Talk to your administrators. Feel comfortable with the process and go from there.
Hey, I have a question. So once we upload the W-9 and everything, how long would it take to get that? So to get my edit back?
My plan is to give people their link tonight and tomorrow if you do everything, and then put you in our key for getting a case. So we're trying to get the cases out for the next 7 to 10 days for those people who sign up so you can get the water. And then we'll go from there. But you should have your link in order to post your link and your confirmation. Also, too, I wanted to get the edits together. But, if you guys want to get started early and you get your link and you want to put something up, I'm not holding you back. We might reach out to you if you overstep. But I think for the most part, if you're a professional and your client gives you a list of the things that you are to post and not to post, you need to review it, make sure it's legit, make sure you say, okay. Number one thing is post when you're feeling positive. That's really what's been resonating is people, how the water, even if you don't need to put the water all up in your face like this and drink positivity. It's really about a mindset. So you can post when you're feeling positive, when something positive happens to you, when you're working out or afterwards, that's fine. You're drinking the product and you can certainly leave comments about what you think about it. But this is really about you expressing your positivity and, saying, I'm part of this team. We will be a team, #positivity team. And all of us will root for each other and cheer for each other as humans and business owners and entrepreneurs, not as competitors. I'm sure there are rivals on here. I'm sure people will wonder, why are you being sponsored by your rival school? It's none of their damn business, right? Why you work with somebody in your rival? Why is your boss won by the rival? So don't ask me that question. This is about business, and I have a brand and I like the brand. And if that's my teammate in business, then that's something that happens in business. I'm not here to talk about business. I'm here to talk about what happened on the field yesterday or today. So those are the sort of things that I'm going to do to try to protect you as entrepreneurs. This is going to be something that can last well past your eligibility. This is something that can trigger you, not for maybe a bottled water business, but all kinds of things that you've never thought about as an entrepreneur. And it should spark your mind and curiosity about marketing or about products. And it should give you something to do in the off season that's more than just film and tape and working out. Because once your career is over and you don't have any film and tape and working out, I had a lot of players that's like still wants to do other things and try to stay in the sport. You should, but our brand is designed for you to post when you're feeling positive. Daryl, you got a question?
Hey, how many days does it take for the cases to ship in? Because let's say we live nowhere near Atlanta, Georgia, in my.
So we actually have a great shipping partnership with UPS, who is here in Atlanta, Georgia. And once we start to get our positivity picked up on our dock, it usually, if you're on the East Coast, will get there in 2 to 3 business days. If you're on the West Coast, you're closer to 4 business days. So yeah, you should, once we tell you the positivity, you should put the address in for your positivity in your application. When we ask you the address for your positivity, you should put that in there, because that's where your positivity is going to go, is the address you used in your application, not the official address you give in the signature. The address you give in your signature is like where your parents live in your hometown, so that while your mail could come, we're not sending you any mail, but the address you put in your first application that says, where do you want your positivity delivered? That's where it's going to be delivered.
Hey, David,
Go
excuse me 1 second. David, with your permission, I'd like to go ahead and approve the first person that is.
Well, let's finish these. Let's finish these things, Shard. No, you have my permission. I'm an attorney. I can't just be approving things I ain't even seen myself. I'm not an attorney.
But they wanted to know how long it was going to take, and that was my whole point. That I'm ready to push approve when Dave says push approve.
Yes, we are.
So
after we get off this call, I will start to press approval. Once I make sure all the things are checked, we will start to go through. My team has been notified that we can start pushing approval. And you know what? We might just book another Zoom call tomorrow, is how annoyed I am, to ask just for questions. So we can post this video tonight, and maybe we'll have a Zoom tomorrow just for questions, and they'll get that $1,000 value. I mean, 1,000 participant value. So I apologize about that. Again, this is COVID. Things are new. People, this whole thing is new. We'll make sure everybody gets their information. But yeah, we'll start approving things tonight. I agree.
Excellent.
Let's see. I'm looking at some of the questions too. The agreement should be reviewed, but does it have to be printed? Again, you do not have to print the agreement. All you have to do is click, but you need to print it out so you can read it and get it to me. How much is the commission and how much will you all take? We're not taking any of it. 5% of whatever you sell goes to you. You have to pay your own taxes. You have to pay your own marketing agents or whoever you're paying, but you have to pay that yourself. We're not taking any of your commission. We're not taking any money out. You're not an employee. Whatever it says on that form is what you guys are getting. And I think you need a PayPal account for it to pay you. Let's see. Any other questions here? Let's see.
People are asking where do they send it?
The case cost is $17 for pickup if you're here in Atlanta. So if they order through pickup in Atlanta, it's $17. If you have it shipped, it's $33, which is a little bit over $2 or $36, which is a little bit over $2 a bottle if you have it shipped, and that's including the shipping fee. So 17 to pick up, 36 to ship. And again, if you're in Atlanta, you can come pick it up. We sell bottled water by the truckload, however. I should tell you this. I keep a truckload here in Atlanta for online sales and other things like that, but we sell it to large distributors. So if any of you start to say, I really want to get in this bottled water game and go higher, Dave, I want to level up, you got to have a relationship with distribution networks and distributors in your hometown or college town or whatever, because they're the ones who order the truckloads that eventually end up in the retail space. And so I'm like the Nino Brown of bottled water, right? I sell it by the truckload. I'm doing this, and we do online sales to, to accommodate our consumer, direct to consumer market. But for the most part, we sell it by the truckload. And the truckload is 26,000 bottles or 26 pallets. And it's a lot of water, but that's what we usually do. But we're making this work for everybody today. So if I finish everything tonight, will I get my edit back tonight? I'm not sure. Again, because we didn't reach our full $1,000 people limit, I don't think the partner was on the Zoom tonight. They would have been able to answer that, but maybe we'll have that on tomorrow in our Q&A. And so I'll try to carve out time tomorrow to hold another meeting because the Zoom is so full. Where do we send our pictures? You post the pictures in your application. How soon does the water arrive? We talked about that. So any other questions? Oh, Noah had his hand raised. Noah, you had a question?
Yes, sir. So with the compliance agreement, do we need to send that, or the agreement, do we need to send that to our school's compliance department, or just make sure that it's within the realms of our compliance?
It depends. Some schools are just saying, hey, if it's not a booster, go ahead and sign. Some of them want to see it. But now you have the ability to download it, run it by somebody to go, hey, I'm about to sign this. I hope this is not a problem. And then they can pull up the agreement and look at it. So we wanted to give you guys something to take back to your schools because they know they're all asking you. And we actually attached that fact sheet in the posting guidelines so they can see about our company, so they can research themselves about who I am and who the company is. So we wanted to empower you with as much information as we could. And then also they'll give you the ability to get started as soon as possible. But please check with your compliance department and run the agreement by them if you need to. Don't want anyone to lose eligibility. I don't want anyone to lose eligibility. I don't want anyone to lose eligibility. So yes, please. All right, Joseph, your turn. You've been patiently waiting.
Yeah, I just had a quick question. As far as a registered agent on the LLC,
yeah.
Who do you want us to put as that for ourselves as a sole proprietor, or do you want us to go ahead and put somebody else on that?
Well, your LLC registered agent is done by the state. So when you fill out your LLC at the state level, that's when they'll ask you for your registered agent. For those of you who don't know, when you form an LLC, basically the states are saying, look, I'm not going to let people sue you individually. They'll have to sue your company. And the company, whatever the assets are, the company is the only thing you're responsible for. So if you're a sole proprietor and you get sued, then people can come after you personally. But if you have an LLC, they can only come after the assets in the LLC, regardless of what you own individually. So people form these LLCs to create that layer of protection. And you get your tax ID number which is the similar to a social security number, to open up a bank account. So with both your LLC filing and your tax ID, you can open up a business bank account. When you go to your state to get your LLC, they're going to ask you for a registered agent. It can be you, and it can be, but they need to give a physical address that's in that state. So if you have parents in that state, or aunt, or somebody's address you can use in that state, then you don't need to hire a registered agent. A lot of people charge money for a registered agent, which is valid sometimes. Sometimes people are out of state and they want to have it in a certain state and they got to hire a registered agent in that state. But for the most part, you can put your address and you can make yourself your registered agent in the state in which you form it in.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions about how to fill out your LLCs or whatever, I'm helping with that too. I want to make sure everybody gets access.
Hey, the editor, he reached out to me. He said he couldn't get in because it was to max capacity when he tried to come join.
Yeah, so it's okay. We'll get it going tomorrow. I'll maybe set up an impromptu one tomorrow for other people to get on tomorrow night at 8. I do have a podcast or a clubhouse I do from 7. So I'll be a little exhausted, but we'll do it again tomorrow. Look, I'm a person that likes to work at a great pace, but I like to think things through. And having information is the most critical thing for everybody now, whether it's through Instagram, video, Zooms. I'm going to put all of that stuff out there for you guys to know, and I want to make myself accessible. And I paid for all those participants. We're going to have a large participants tomorrow. It's okay. Any other questions, Shar?
No, I think you've covered everything else. People are talking about the partnership and the water and the quantity and the prices. So we're pretty much good to go.
Okay, good. Well, let's get ourselves into the process of processing some of these people through. Of course, you can shoot an email, nil@positivitywater.com. We got to figure out, Shar, what's going on with our links. We'll figure that stuff out now and we'll get that going. But hey, I want to say thank you to everybody for giving me your attention today. I don't take anything for granted. I don't take your time for granted. I don't take any of this process for granted. I appreciate all of you. Have a fantastic evening, and I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks for coming on board.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, have a good
You're
one.
Thank you.
welcome. All right, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
I believe.
Hi, can I ask a question still?
Sure.
Okay, one is your link. I know that you mentioned that you were going to be sending out a link to do one-on-ones with you. Will we get that through another email?
Yes, once we join and prove you as a partner, we'll and if you require that sort of one-on-one attention, then yes, you'll get a link where you can book a meeting with me and talk to me one-on-one if you need to about. Again, I can't be your attorney, but I can give you some ideas about what you're facing.
Mm-hmm. And then my second question, I feel like I have no more questions.
It's okay. In the new link, we have a section at the bottom where you can hit it, submit the questions, and somebody's going to respond to that as well.
Okay.
So you can get to the email, you can go to the link. Any of that works.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, I just remembered it. Sorry. I know that you mentioned that you were interested in getting interns. And so I don't know if it would be a conflict of interest for me to promote the same brand that I internship for, but I am a political science major and I'm working towards public relations. And your company is something that I'm interested in, like beyond just representing it for, athletic and personal reasons. So if that's something that you all are interested in, should I send another email talking about that?
Yes, I think that all of those opportunities are there. Are you here in Atlanta?
No, sir. I go to Baylor University in Waco, Texas, and I live in Fort Myers, Florida.
Okay, we can talk offline about it. We're recording this and you don't want everybody to know your business. All right, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right, I think we can stop recording. We will resume this conversation online through some social media channels, and we'll maybe try to jump back on the Zoom tomorrow. Thanks,
Good
Shar.
night.
Thanks, everybody.
Welcome. Good
Bye.
night. Bye-bye.